everyone. Okay, each one of us possess one of the most powerful, complex, and at the same time dangerous trait that evolution has ever devised. I'm talking about language. Language allows you to implant a thought from your mind into someone else's mind. And as we know, the communication is one of the fundamental needs of human beings. And nowadays, we have around 6,900 spoken language in the world, if included the dialects. And when you see the statistics, we might be surprised that Chinese are the most common spoken English in the world, perhaps during the large population of Chinese is spread out. And by 2015, it's predicted that 80% of the spoken language will be that. So today we have a range of language to discover, but people still have a challenge to overcome, which is how can normal adults can learn a second language easily, quickly, and effectively. So in our lecture today, we're going to talk about how this process occurs and the reasons why we should learn a second language, and most importantly, how to fix the vocabulary and all those things that you learn of the second language. So,
good morning. So I will explain how our brain process the language, the information in the language in your mind. So in 1861, neurosurgeon called Paul Broca, he studied brain of a guy who had a problem. He had a problem to communicate. He was able just to say one word, that was 10, and this word became his name. And so he was studying his brain, and Broca found that this guy had a lesion in the left side of the brain. And after that, he studied another 8 patients, and he found in these patients that they had the same problem to communicate. He found the same kind of lesion in the same area. So he found that in this area was responsible for the production of the language, so to communicate and to produce words. So 10 years later, in 1871, a German neurologist, Karl Wernicke, he discovered another area in the brain. And this area was responsible for understanding language, what you will hear, and your brain will process information, and after that you can speak the word, you will be able to communicate. So here I will explain how is the process in our brain. In the Broca's area, this side, you will see the information by our eyes, and the information go to the primary visual cortex. And after that, the information go to the Wernicke's area, that's here, and this information goes to Broca's area, and after that go to the primary motor cortex. Your brain will process all the information, all the data that you are using, and after that you will be able to speak the word or to pronounce the word or absorb the information. And people who have problem in this area, in Broca's area, they have problem to produce speech, and when they can't produce. Sometimes they understand what people are saying, they can understand, but when they try to speak, they cannot make, the words are not properly formatted. They sometimes speak slow and it's not coherent. And people who have problem, it is another process is in the Wernicke's area. Information is absorbed by your ears and goes to the primary auditory cortex. So, and after it makes the same process, go to Wernicke's area, Broca's area, and go to the primary motor cortex, that the information is processed, and after that you can speak the word or understand the word. So people who have problem in this area, we will have problem to understand language. Sometimes they can pronunciate words, but when they try to put words in sentence, they cannot connect the words. It's like a word salad. Sometimes their speech doesn't make sense. So I have a question for you. Are children really better language learners when you compare with adults? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so.
Because, yeah, they have
Yeah?
100% ability to learn.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks this, but it's a myth. So, yeah, everybody say that children are better learners, but it's a myth.
What?
Because we adults, we have the advantage if compared with children, because we already know a language, we already know our native language. So when we will try to learn another language, we are able to use some knowledge that we already have for our native language. We already know how to make sentence, we already know the meaning of the words. We just need to translate or to learn new kind of words and adapt it to the new language. We have some kind of advantage. Children, they have advantage in pronunciation because their brains are better to make sounds, to process sounds. So when children learn language, they are able to speak better. Because for this reason, we have like an accent because we are learning. We are learning now, so we have the accent. Children, when they learn in the beginning, when they are children, they will not have the accent. But pronunciation doesn't matter. Like if you can express your thoughts, the pronunciation doesn't matter. The native people sometimes they have problem to understand you, but you can deal with it. So adults and children need to be measured differently. Why? Children, they learn, when they go to school, they learn in language, they learn words, vocabulary that is more simple. Some words that they use just in the school or they use at home. So we adults, we have to learn more complex vocabulary because we use these words in the work, we use this work in the university. So we deal with more complex topics. Adults and children, they both succeed in the same resource. Children, usually, they go to school to learn. They have a teacher, they have a curriculum, they have works to do, tasks to do, presentations. So they have a schedule, a perfect schedule to learn. While sometimes adults, they want to learn language, or they go buy a book, go to home, read the book, they go to some websites and practice, but they don't have a support of a teacher or a schedule to follow like we have in the school. You have the obligation to study and to do your assignments, your tasks. So if adults like us, we have the opportunity to be here in the school, we have a schedule, we have presentations we have to do, we have tests. So we are forced to study, to pass, you know. In this way, we will learn. So I will explain how is the acquisition of language by children. So even before they are able to speak, they already communicate. They communicate by gesticulating and by crying. So they can communicate already. So the best period of time to children learn language is between the age of 1 to 3 years. This is the best period. In this period, the children, they listen attentively or for everything. They listen first what people talk to them, and after what people talk around them. When they are like 12 months old, they start to use language. They start to say some words. They start to understand some words. They answer some questions. But they related words with facts that are related to them. Like when their mother are preparing food, they hear some sounds. Ah, here is your food. So he relates that word with the food that is coming to them. So they start to understand and assimilate words. When they are 20 months to 18 months, they are able to follow simple commands and spontaneous interactions. So they are able to answer yes, no, I don't like this, I want this. So they start to talk some simple sentences and answer and follow instructions. when they are 3 years old, 90% of the 90% of the comprehension ability is acquired, so they almost understand everything that people talk to them. And after that, of course, they will go to school, they will learn more complex words, make new kinds of sentences, they will learn how to write, because they are, at this time they are just learn how to speak some words, and when they go to school they will learn grammar, how to write it, and they will progress. So I have another question. Is living in another country strictly necessary to learn a foreign language? What do you think?
No.
No?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you are correct. It's a myth. It's also a myth. The best way to learn a language, people usually say the best way to learn a language is to go to a foreign country. It's not true. Many people who live in a foreign country, sometimes they don't learn the language at all. They learn just the language that they need to work or to go to school or to talk with friends, to eat, to go to the supermarket. Just the language to day by day to survive. They usually make lots of mistakes, especially when speaking, because they learn by speaking, but when sometimes they have to write, they cannot. The best way is to go to school. It's not just traveling. It doesn't mean that we will learn everything. They learn, as I said, they learn just the base for communication. They don't practice the correct grammar. Another question: why should we learn a foreign language? What are the reasons for learning a foreign language?
Business requirement.
For the culture.
Get
Fine.
the job.
Yeah.
Usually people say this is for to get a job or for traveling, for communicate with
Development.
other people from other countries.
Just for
But
educate
it
myself.
goes beyond this. It have more advantages. So you have several cognitive advantages for your brain. So people who study language, who have
Yes.
start to study language, they start to use other parts of other areas of the brain. So your brain start to use another areas, and it is good for you. Your brain start to work more faster. So you become smarter. So your ability to solve problems will increase. Also, people who start to study language will have can avoid the problem of Alzheimer and
Nice.
mental problems. Your memory can improve by learning language. And also, if you learn a foreign language, it's important for your native language. You can use some rules that you learn in the new language using your native language.
Nice.
So I just go quickly this. In order to, although we have so many tools nowadays available to learn a second language, people are still struggling in this learning process because they don't know how to study, they don't know how to fix the vocabulary they study. So in order to improve these skills, we need to have some personal qualities, which includes making time. You have to figure out since the beginning what do you like, in what tools do you like to learn. It's by watching a movie, it's by listening to music, whatever. You need to find this since the beginning. Consistency in your study, you need to study every day, at least 30 minutes per day, and especially when you're feeling fresh, when you don't have anything to do. You need to have the same curiosity, genuine curiosity of a child. It's better don't rely on one single method. You need to use several methods because these expand the concepts about one thing that you are learning, and you do not have to fear learning speaking, especially. So I have organized some strategies that the learners us can use in order to improve our learning skills and learn a second language in 6 months, quickly, easy, and effectively. In 6 months you can speak any language with these strategies. So set realistic goals. You are not a native speaker, so if you take 15 minutes per day and set a goal. I'm gonna learn 20-25 words per week. By the end of 6 weeks, you will have 120 words. So you have a survival kit, learning and memorizing. Classify what you learn. For example, in this week I'm gonna study things about weather, and the next week about parts of the body. So this helps organize the things in your mind, and when you need this vocabulary in the future, this is already organized in your mind and you remember. Start mixing things. Just not study words random. You can learn 10 verbs, 10 adjectives, and 10 nouns. This gives you you'll be able to form 1,000 different phrases if you learn by this way, by pieces. Dissect new words. If you find a word that you don't know, look at each structure. Look at the prefix and the suffix. This gives you a clue about the meaning of the word. It's very important. Talk to yourself. It seems crazy, but this is a strategy that I use myself when I walk in the street.
Yeah.
Because understand my logic. You are walking the street, talking to yourself, making some questions, try to respond them. And sometimes, for example, you are here in the class and you don't know how this called this. By talking to yourself and don't understand everything that you are saying to yourself, you are forcing to looking for this word, and you are forcing to look for the meaning of the word. So I'm gonna looking for what this is called. This is table. So I never forget again in another conversation. So focus on the short phrase. Research have been shown that if it's more useful learn